Hello dear friends, I am Avadhesh Pratap Patel, and today in this video we are going to talk about the reasons of Hindu failure or Indian failure against Islamic invasion in medieval times. So before talking about the reasons, let's talk about the background. So as far as Islamic invasions are concerned, they started just after the death of Prophet Muhammad. So after the death of Prophet Muhammad, the leadership or Islamic leadership fell on the shoulders of different caliphates. And Rashidun Caliphate was the first such caliphate. In Rashidun Caliphate, there were four caliphs, and Umar was the second one. Under the leadership of Umar, the first Islamic invasions against India started, but none of them saw any fruit of success. After the Rashidun Caliphate, Umayyad Caliphate came into power, and in Umayyad Caliphate, Abd al-Malik was the fifth caliph, under whom al-Hajjaj was commissioned to invade Indian peninsular region. Al-Hajjaj chose Muhammad bin Qasim, his son-in-law, for this task, and under the leadership of Muhammad bin Qasim, Islamic invasions saw first fruits of success. And after the invasion of Sindh and Multan, Muhammad bin Qasim is now known as the first Muslim invader of India. Before these expeditions, Multan was known as Mulastana, but after this invasion of Multan and Sindh, Multan became Multan from Mulastan. So this happened in 712, and after that, when Abd al-Malik was succeeded by al-Walid, Muhammad bin Qasim was recalled, and further Islamic invasions against India were not very successful, and they tried for the 3 centuries in 8th, 9th and 10th centuries, but none of the expeditions bore any fruit. These 3 centuries are known as the 3 centuries of Islamic or Arabic frustration. After these 3 centuries, again in 1001, there was another person, Mahmud of Ghazni, who started his invasions in India. And he kept on invading. And the most famous invasion took place in 1025 when he started his journey against the famous temple of Somnath. He reached Somnath in 1026 and plundered the entire city, and did a lot of killing. He committed a massacre here. And after that, this series kept on increasing. The similar kind of events kept on occurring. So the event of chain kept on increasing. And further we see the culmination or ramification in the form of the first battle of Tarain, 1191. Second Battle of Tarain, 1192, and then Battle of Chandawar, 1194. So there was a question that after the 3 centuries of Islamic frustration, when the Islamic invasions resumed, what had happened to the Hindu resistance, or what happened to the Rajputs on whose shoulder the responsibility of guarding India lied once? So what were the reasons? Why the Rajputs failed? Why the Hindu resistance against the Islamic invasion failed in this period? What was the reason? Well, the first such reason is lack of strategic far-sightedness in Rajputs. Not only in Rajputs, in all those people who were guarding the borders of India against the Islamic invasion. So lack of strategic far-sightedness. If we have to understand this, we have to talk about the people who invaded India. So people who invaded India, be it Mahmud of Ghazni or Muhammad Ghurid, those were from Turkish breed. These people once lived in Central Asia. If you talk about the geography of Central Asia, it's a tough land to be. It's a tough land to survive. Someone who lives in Central Asia has to develop habit of raiding for cattle, because in that topography, okay, vegetation is not abundant. Okay, you have to fight for food. Okay, you have to slaughter cattle, okay, lamb and goat for your survival. Okay, so everyday life included raiding for cattle. So they were strategically very well developed. They knew how to do raiding against their enemies, because it was an everyday work. So when these people invaded, Rajputs were guarding the northwestern frontiers of India. They were the expert people, who were an expert in laying siege. Okay, who were strategically very brilliant. Okay, so this was an advantage on their part. Okay, so but this strategic farsightedness was not there among the Rajputs. Okay, they could not invoke the Arya worth consciousness which was once there. Okay, they could not be united against the Islamic threat. They were not habitual of such kind of raids. So first, lack of strategic farsightedness and Rajputs. This was the first region, and the second region was lack of unity among them. Okay, as far as Muslim leaders were concerned, whenever they were unsuccessful, they were given a reinforcement, because the entire Arabian Peninsula was united under the Caliphate. So when they used to become unsuccessful, they would come back with the reinforcement. But such advantage was not there with the Rajputs. Okay, a Rajput society was formed on the basis of honor and egalitarianism. It means all the Rajputs considered each other equal. Okay, so as far as this sense of honor and egalitarianism is concerned, it has its fair share of advantage, and it has some disadvantages also. Okay, as far as disadvantages are concerned, okay, if people are characterized by a sense of honor and egalitarianism, they often fail in forming a hierarchy. Okay, and without hierarchy, without a proper sound administration, okay, it's almost impossible to fight united. So this happened. So the first region was lack of strategic farsightedness in Rajputs. Second was lack of political unity. Apart from that, military innovation. Okay, this was the third reason. Okay, as far as Rajputs were concerned, okay, they used cloths as horse stirrup. Okay, and they were still relying upon the heavy bows and arrows. Okay, which you can trace to Mahabharata era. So the bows used by the Rajputs were very heavy. Those were so cumbersome that it was not possible by them to carry them on the horseback. And at the same time, because the horse stirrup were made of cloths, it was very difficult and tough for them to stand on the horse and shoot arrows. But at the same time, if you talk about the Central Asian invaders, the Turkish Muslims, they used leather as horse stirrup, and they had Novak bows. Okay, so Novak bow was a kind of bow which was very flexible. Okay, not only the string of the bow, but the bow itself used to be stretched. So despite being short in size, it used to give more range for shooting arrows. So the use of Novak bow, use of stirrup, okay, made them unable to shoot arrows while moving. So a shooting cavalry on the horseback was the backbone of the Turkish army. But at the same time, if you talk about the Rajput army, they heavily relied on elephants. Elephants made their movement very slow, and at times when they went on being berserk, okay, they destroyed their own army. So because of these military innovations, okay, the Central Asian people, or the Turkish Muslims, okay, were more powerful as far as head-on battles were concerned, and it was the lack of military innovation, because of which, okay, the Rajput fell short in front of them. So this is another reason. Another reason was the Rajput notion of dharma yuddha. Okay, Rajputs were excellent swordsmen. Okay, a Rajput with a sword was almost invincible. But since their childhood, they were brought up by telling them the stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata, and war virtues, military virtues. Okay, that never to strike upon an enemy who has fallen from the horse, never to strike on an enemy who is not wielding a weapon. Okay, always start the battle in the morning, and it in the evening. So all these notions of dharma yuddha somewhere doomed the Rajputs. Okay, for example, the second battle of Tarain is very relevant here to discuss. What happened in the second battle of Tarain was when Muhammad Ghuri and Prithviraj Chauhan encamped in the battle of Tarain. Muhammad Ghuri sent a message to Prithviraj Chauhan that he wants to struck a deal, okay, a peace deal with him. Okay, according to the deal, he wanted to have the geographical portion up to Punjab, okay, under his authority, and the rest was to be left under Prithviraj Chauhan's authority. And he said that for completing the deal, he needs permission from his elder brother, who was reigning in Afghanistan at that time, at Ghazni. So he bought time for it. Relaxed, Prithviraj Chauhan and his friends entered in their camps. But in the evening and in the night, Muhammad Ghuri ordered the charge against them, and the Rajput army had to suffer a heavy massacre and slaughter. They became disoriented. So it was entirely because of that notion of dharma yuddha. Apart from that, okay, because the entire Arabian Peninsula was under the caliphate, whenever the Turkish Muslim invaders fell short or became unsuccessful, they got reinforcements from the Arabian Peninsula or from the caliphate. But such advantage was denied to Rajputs because they did not have the political unity. One Rajput never tried to help the other one in case of military expeditions against the outsiders. Another relevant example is of Battle of Chandavar. In 1194, when Battle of Chandavar took place, it is said that Jaichand was almost victorious in that battle. Jaichand's army did many miracles in that battle. Had Jaichand collaborated with Prithviraj Chauhan during the second battle of Tarain or before that, the Islamic threat could have been completely solved. But that source of reinforcement and military farsightedness was not there. So this is another reason because of which the Rajputs or the Hindu resistance fell short in front of the Turkish Islamic invasions. Well, if you liked the video, hit the subscribe button and spread your love.